Hello, it's me, French Ted, again, and we are here for week 3, episode 3 of our AEW TEW save. Oh, and it's a big one today because not only do we have Dynamite and Collision, but wedged in between the two of them, we've got Battle of the Belts. Yep, as mentioned, I did want to include a Battle of the Belts just to kind of help with some title matches that we want to book and just push a few storylines over the edge. So it should be a good long show / episode. Side note, for pay-per-views, so things like Double or Nothing, All Out, things like that, they will be their own self-contained episode because they're going to be on Sundays. But it's just easier when you've got a Friday night special. You get the whole Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah? Cool. Before we jump into anything though, I did want to check out... there's no way to do it because we've gone too far. I was going to say let's take a look at WWE because we saw WrestleMania Saturday, but we never saw WrestleMania Sunday. And I haven't seen it yet, or any shows since, so I don't know whether they've been getting better numbers because honestly their first week or so was it's quite terrible, wasn't it? Either way, let's just head straight to Dynamite. But first, as always, we are needing to look at the backstage incidents. And just the one with Matt Taven. And he created a relaxed atmosphere when he set up a barbecue. Oh, what a lad. I'm inviting him to my party. And just before we jump in again, we are now in the tri-state area for this week at the Duchess Stadium. So yeah, without further ado, let's head into AEW Dynamite. Okay, so here we are. We didn't actually book any pre-show matches for some reason. I think that's on me, but we didn't need any because we've got the 3 different match types on the card itself. And we open with a TNT title defense where Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Mark Briscoe with a frog splash. Go on, Hobbs. This is, I think, the first time we've seen Hobbs defend his TNT title, so he's been a little bit absent, the cheeky boy. So we've got Hobbs with a 49, Briscoe with a 54 and a 58 segment. And the match got the show off to a strong start, which is exactly what we want to see. So well done, guys. And just as Hobbs is celebrating with QT Marshall, Tony Khan comes out and just says, Hobbs, great title defense. The TNT title is an important title to AEW with some amazing champions in its history. And it is a title that we want to see present and on TV as often as possible. So, to build up to a celebration of the TNT Championship, we are going to organise a TNT tournament where 8 of our finest AEW athletes will be competing for a number 1 contendership against you. And obviously Powerhouse Hobbs is like, bring it, I'll take them on, let's go. And yeah, 43, Tony Khan just chatting. And those 8 members are these. And these are also the brackets as well for the tournament. So I've used the tournament feature in TEW, which is really cool. I really like it. Helps me stay a little bit more organised. So our round 1 matches are Miro versus Daniel Garcia, Konosuke Takeshita versus Juice Robinson, Blake Christian versus Pac, and Lee Moriarty versus Ricky Starks. So one of these men will face Powerhouse Hobbs in the future for a TNT championship. But they're going to have to get through the quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals in order to get there. And yeah, 40 rating, fair enough. You know, it's just an announcement. And then that takes us to a backstage segment with the Young Bucks. First time we've seen them after their loss in the number 1 contendership match with the FTR and the Acclaimed. And the Young Bucks are quite easy breezy. They're relaxed. They're just saying, hey, no drama. We'll have more opportunities in the future. We've had an amazing career anyway. So, you know, we've had issues with FTR in the past, but, you know, they're all squashed. And the Acclaimed are an exciting tag team. So, pleasure to be in a ring with them. And at the end of the day, we are the elite. And life is good when you're the elite. So, still kind of carrying that kind of, you know, the elite is where it's got to be. That's where you want to be. The elite is just, mwah, everything is rosy and gold. And yeah, 61 segment, fair enough, nothing special. And we move on to a tag team match between Toni Storm and Ruby Soho versus TJ. And in about, they had a decent reaction from the crowd and subpar wrestling. Toni Storm and Ruby Soho defeat TJ when Toni Storm pins Anna Jay. So Anna Jay eats the pin for this match. Ratings not too bad. Anna Jay the weakest, which is annoying because I quite like Anna Jay. But Tay Mello I also like a lot. So, I mean, we know that Soho and Storm can perform quite well. It's just seeing what the other ones are like. And as we're aware, Anna Jay and... my mind's gone blank. It's right there in front of me. Anna Jay and Tay Mello are part of the JAS. And this is another loss for the JAS. So... if I haven't booked it, which I don't think I have, I can just imagine Chris Jericho's watching the TV screen in the background and just shakes his head and walks off, because that's another loss. And post-match, as TJ piss off, Ruby Soho, Toni Storm celebrating, Saraya comes in, lifts their arms, grabs the mic and just goes, "See, this is what the Outcasts can do." And I'm sick of talking, I'm sick of a war of words, I'm sick of it, Jamie. I want you to put your title on the line and let's just have at it. Me and you. And there's no response, reaction. It's just a call out. And I guess we'll have to wait and see to see what Jamie Hayter says back. And the next match is obviously Christian calling out Hook recently. And has now got that title opportunity. So in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd and subpar wrestling, Christian Cage has defeated Hook in 12 minutes and 54 seconds with a spear. Oh, throwing it back to Edge. And during that match, we also had Luchasaurus, of course we did, run in and attack Hook. So Christian Cage is our new FTW World Champion. And Christian Cage got a 58 rating while Hook got a 38. Oh. The announcing quality lifted the match. Colour commentary gave the match a boost. Nice. Flavour of the month. Awesome. So Christian Cage now has the FTW World title. And that takes us straight into our next match, which is Kenny Omega versus Ricky Starks. Kind of a little marquee match just to show off some talent on the roster. Kenny Omega with a 72 and Ricky Starks with a 50. And obviously Kenny getting the win with a one-winged angel. 68 rating. Not bad. I'll take it. This match got the crowd buzzing, so that's great. And post-match, Kenny and Don Callis help up Ricky Starks, give him a little handshake, pat on the back and stuff, and just come out and say, "Hey, we like what you've got. We think you're great, and you can be even better if you're part of the Elite. So, what do you say? You want to join the Elite?" And Ricky's kind of a little bit confused, still kind of licking his wounds from the match, and he's kind of like, "I don't know if you're serious or not," and kind of just leaves them without an answer. So Kenny and Don are like, okay, well, offers on the table, as you know, as they kind of shout through their hands. But yeah, it looks like Ricky Starks has been offered the opportunity to become a member of the Elite. I mean, why would you say no? There's no reason, is there? So we'll have to watch this space and see if Ricky Starks is down to clown with the Elite. Moving on, we've got a 6-man tag, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus the Dark Order. So in a bout that has decent reaction from the crowd and subpar wrestling, the Acclaimed defeat the Dark Order in just over 10 minutes when Anthony Bowens pins Colt Cabana. Daddy Ass was the weak link. Oh, that sucks. I really like Daddy Ass. But yeah, he got 33 and a 55 rated match. So far, this card has not been the best, but we got some decent ratings from pretty much everyone else, around the 50s, which, you know, is expected, and the tag team boosts and stuff, so that's fine. And just as the Acclaimed are celebrating, the lights go off, and on the Titantron, the big screen, Malachi Black appears with the rest of House of Black and just accepts the Acclaimed's challenge for the Trios Championships, even though no one challenged them, but they just said, "Battle of the Belts, we'll see you there." Whoosh, and then it just goes black again. So Anthony Bowens, Max Caster and Daddy Arse are a little bit confused, but also like, I guess I guess we've got a title match. Cool. And they just start, scissoring everyone. Yeah. So that's penciled in. Well, not penciled in. That's penned in for our Battle of the Belts in 2 days' time. And following that is our final segment, which is where Allin and Sting call out MJF. They bring him out to the ring. They kind of have a bit of a back and forth, what Sting and MJF are like. They're very heated at the moment. And Allin just says, look, enough's enough. I'm the number one contender, and I'm sick of you walking around with a title you don't deserve. I'm going to have that match with you this Friday, Battle of the Belts, me versus you, and I'm going to win. And MJF's like, okay, fair enough. Let's do it. Why waste time? I agree. So yeah, it's locked in for Friday. Our main event for Battle of the Belts will be will be MJF versus Darby Allin with Sting ringside for the AEW World Championship. Sting was superb working without a script, which is great. That's good. An 88 rating segment, which hopefully lifts up this show, because I feel like this is a little bit of a lackluster show, but we're just like trying to get people on TV, pushing some storylines along. Yeah. So, and that hot catchphrase, if anyone knows what it is, let me know, because I don't. And we'll see how we do. A 66. That's fine. If I'm being honest, I was expecting mid to late 60s off the bat from like week one. I think we started impossibly strong. So 66 is fine. We've still increasing popularity because I think we're averaging 61 to 62 pop across the world, or across the US and then lower everywhere else. So that's fine in my book. Let's finish this show. I'll get Dynamite out of the way, and then we'll head straight into Battle of the Belts. I'll see you guys in a sec. And we're back. Okay, so Dynamite is out of the way. Let's just quickly show you what happened. Not much. Billy Starks and Yuka Sakazaki. Drilistico defeated Brock Anderson. Alex Reynolds and John Silver defeated the Blondes because Griff Garrison is now back from injury. Jericho gives Garcia a little pep talk, being like, come on, like, don't disappoint me, because the rest of the JAS seem to only be doing that. And thankfully that pep talk works, and Daniel Garcia gets a win over Matt Hardy. Nothing special. Maybe the JAS storyline continues, but that's about it. But now we have our first, not really pay-per-view, special televised event, which is Battle of the Belts 5. You can probably see here that Emi Sakura has morale issues. That's because she wanted a pay rise of nearly 200% of what she was getting paid. So I gave her 50%, and she's furious, but I don't care. She's probably someone that will probably leave soon, if I'm being honest. And don't get excited about Chavo Guerrero. I've just brought him in as a road agent. Yeah. Although he does have the ability to wrestle occasionally, as and when and if we ever need him. But he is just here as a road agent because I just wanted to fill that out a little bit more with a bit more experience, just to see if it makes a difference. And Laynie Luck is just a jobber, so don't worry about that. Anyways, there's no locker room backstage incidents to address because they were addressed in Dynamite. The only thing was that someone was passing on, I think it was Daniel Bryan was passing on psychology tips to Jade Cargill, maybe something like that. But we have had to change venue because it was simply too small to hold a special event like this. We are still in the tri-state area, but we are at the Blue Cross Arena with an expected attendance of 12,391, which is massive for a TV special. But yeah, without further ado, let's go straight into Battle of the Belts 5. Okay, and here we go. So with Battle of the Belts, every match is a title match. Not every belt is on the line, but every match that you will see tonight, the title is on the line. So who knows what we could see. This means that the pre-show segments, or any pre-show parts, none of them are matches. They're all just kind of like backstage videos, I guess. And the first one that we see is Chris Jericho with all of JS around him, just being like, right, I want all of you to watch, pay attention, make notes, because you are the Jericho Appreciation Society, so you might as well learn something from Jericho himself. This is obviously revealing that Chris Jericho is in a title match tonight against the AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy, which I'm sure will be a very, very fun match. So Jericho hoping to bring some gold to JAS, and hopefully the rest of the members can learn a thing or two from him. So a nice 76 pre-show segment, and then we move on to our final segment, which is just Don Callis, Kenny Omega, Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson of the Elite just kind of catching up to Ricky backstage and be like, hey Ricky, we saw that you're in the TNT Championship tournament. Best of luck, man. It'd be great if you could bring a belt to the Elite. Obviously, them all thinking that Ricky is already in the Elite, and Ricky's like, thanks, I guess. And they're like, okay, we'll see you later, Ricky. Have a good one. Yeah. And they just kind of like all skip away. Like, yeah. So Ricky's a bit like, have I joined the Elite? Am I their newest member? And very confusing, but I'm sure it will, be clearer in the future. But yeah, great work from everyone in this segment, which was good. 58, fine. It's pre-show at the end of the day, so it doesn't matter. And now, let's get straight into our first title match of Battle of the Belts. 65, not bad. So in a decent opening match, FTR defeat the Guns in 19 minutes and 54 seconds when Cash Wheeler pins Colton Gunn with the big rig. And FTR have just won the AEW World Tag Team titles. So just like real life, let's be honest. I think they're the best option to take the belts off the Guns, unless you want to push the Guns like crazy. I do really like Austin and Colton Gunn, but I just don't think now's the time for them to lead the tag division. And when you've got people like the Bucks and FTR and possibly even like the Hardys, people like that, they're maybe more suited at the start while we can start building talent up. So FTR are your new AEW World Tag Team Champions, both with the high 68, which is great, and then Colton Austin around the 40s, which isn't great, but got the show to a strong start and got the crowd hot, which is what we want to see. Moving on, we have a backstage segment where Dustin Rhodes pulls Jay White aside and goes, look, Jay, I know you're trying to make an impact. I know that you're bringing all this charisma and energy and momentum from Japan, but you need to earn your respect in AEW. You can't just walk in and be a top guy. You can't just walk in and make your own rules. And if you can't fall in line and follow, the culture of AEW, then maybe I'm going to have to do something about it. And Jay's kind of like laughing and mocking Dustin, like, sorry, who do you think you are, old man? Like, you've had your time, and by the looks of it, you've done nothing with it except paint your face. So how about you step aside? Otherwise, we're going to have to go straight through you. And Juice is just there, like, pulling weird faces and making, like, noises, because he's a bit bizarre at the moment, isn't he? And yeah, he just pushes through Dustin Rhodes and walks off, and Dustin Rhodes is pissed. So maybe Dustin is going to be the face of the old people for AEW to try and quieten down Jay White and Bullet Club Gold. But yeah, the gained momentum with this segment, which is good. 69. Well, hey, you'll take that. Yeah, got the crowd hotter. Great segment. Couldn't be happier. This then takes us to our next. Oh my god, I'm so glad that the jobbing ends soon. Spoiler. And Jade Cargill defends her TBS title in 3 minutes and 35 seconds with the Jaded. Good old jobber Laynie Luck did very well with her 27 performance, although Jade didn't do much better with her 33. But Jade was really off her game, and we've called the crowd because that's what we want to see, isn't it? So Jade Cargill makes another defense and is just flexing left, right and center, standing over poor Laynie Luck. No luck tonight. And just as she celebrates, I don't know Athena's music, but that music hits, and everyone's like, wow, she's back. Oh, she's been killing it in ROH. I think she's still the ROH champion in this save, which is good. And she's just like, Jade, I think it's about time you took this title seriously and you took the women's division seriously. So if you're up for it, which I'm sure you are, being a defending champion and undefeated, maybe it's time for some real competition like me. And the crowd are like, hell yeah, we want to see that. Athena, Jade Cargill, let's go. Jade obviously doesn't say anything. Jade's just like, step up, girl, step up. What are you saying? And yeah, so 48 segment, not bad. But we got the crowd hotter again. Hey, well done, Athena. Moving on, we've got our International Championship match in a 62, which isn't the best, but it's fine. So in a match that had good heat and decent wrestling, Orange Cassidy defeats Chris Jericho clean as well with the Orange Punch. And that is now defense number 16. Jesus Christ. Or should I say Judas Christ? Get it? Because Chris Jericho. And so obviously Chris Jericho is like losing his mind because he's come into this. No one around the ring just said, you guys stay out of this, watch me, this is how it's done. And he doesn't get it done against Orange Cassidy of all people. And Orange Cassidy benefited from having a hot new move. I'd love to see it, Orange. So yeah, Chris is beside himself. He's embarrassed. Not so much losing to Orange Cassidy, but kind of the false hope that he gave the JAS. So yeah, no title for the JAS tonight. Orange Cassidy makes another defense. Congrats, my dude. I really need to start using him more. Moving on, we have got a backstage segment, a very rushed backstage segment because it wasn't something that was planned, but we can see Adam Cole is being brutally attacked by every single member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Bryan Danielson's thrown him into Moxley, who throws him into the wall. They kick him down. Claudio picks him up, throws him on top of a table. Like, they're all just taking turns beating Adam Cole, and it doesn't take long before security approach and the Blackpool Combat Club retreat before anything more happens. But Adam Cole is motionless on the floor, holding his shoulder, his arms. Medical people have come over just to be like, Adam, you okay? So yeah, Adam Cole maybe should have kept his mouth shut and not got involved in Bryan's hypothesis, I guess, of the AEW locker room. But yeah, 67 rated, not bad. Let's keep going. Oh, and here we go with the Women's World Championship match. Jamie Hayter successfully defends against Saraya of the Outcasts in 13 minutes 52 with the Falcon Arrow, a 61 rated match. Not bad at all. So the Don't Be a Hater storyline continues with Jamie Hayter getting the win. So that's a 1-up on the Outcasts. And Saraya is getting better at her gimmick, which is cool. But post-match, the Outcasts are furious that they lost. So they've stormed into the ring, beaten down Jamie Hayter before she can even properly celebrate. And who comes to the rescue? Britt Baker comes out of nowhere, kind of diffuses the situation a little bit, but it does just turn into an all-out brawl. And that security that we mentioned earlier, they actually managed to do something in this match. They come running down the ramp, separating the women, just trying to keep them apart before the situation diffuses and the Outcasts get exited from the ring. Britt checks on Jamie. Jamie's all good. Lifts the title back up. And she is still your AEW Women's World Champion. Moving on, we've got a little backstage promo with Renee just catching up with Bryan and the rest of the Combat Club, just saying, guys, any comments on the Adam Cole attack? And Bryan basically just says that Adam Cole is not a professional wrestler. He does not belong here. And he's got no reason as to get involved and criticize my words, my behavior, my actions. And if he wants to get involved, then what happened earlier is just going to happen every single week. So he either gets out or we kick him out. Simple as. So nice 63 segment. Not as good as I thought it'd be, to be honest, but hey ho. Bryan just spouting his thoughts again, and obviously he's got the moves to back it up, because Adam Cole, as far as we're aware, is somewhere being treated for the injuries that were sustained earlier tonight. Next up, we have our World Trios Championship. So that's a 55 rating. So in a decent match, the House of Black defeat the Acclaimed when they pin Daddy Ass with the Black Mass. So looking at the ratings, Daddy Ass got a 26 So I tried to mark it as limited involvement because I thought that would help the rating, because he's so poor in the ring. I thought maybe if we don't put him in the ring that much, it might help. But it seems like the flow of the match was hurt because he had limited involvement. So that's no good. Let's never use that again unless someone's injured. But then again, if they're injured, we're not using them in matches. Either way, House of Black win and retain. That's defense number 3. And the Acclaimed are, just as quickly as their contenders, are now bottom of the barrel, licking their wounds in a 55 rated match, which isn't the best, but we do still have our bumper main event, which I believe is coming up very soon. But first, Sting just wanted to do a quick promo before Darby Allin heads out to the ring, just to hype up the main event, saying this is Darby's time, MJF needs to be shut up, and Darby's the man to do it. That's a 65 segment. Thought it would be better than that. Apparently Sting needed a script for this. Wasn't that hard, mate. You just need to say Darby good, MJF bad, and you would have got something. But oh well. But that does take us straight into our main event. MJF, Darby Allin, world title. Let's go. 74. Okay. I'll take it. That's not bad. So in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Darby Allin defeats MJF in 21-12 when MJF was counted out, fighting Sting at ringside. Oh, so Darby gets the win. However, MJF is still the champion because it was a count-out victory. And Sting, probably losing his temper with MJF's taunts, just getting involved and deciding to switch his focus too much on MJF, I guess. Darby Allin must be livid, must be furious with this. But we are going to have to wait until Collision, at least, to see the fallout of this. But even though Darby Allin is the winner of this match, he is not your champion. MJF is still the AEW World Champion, and that closes Battle of the Belts. So let's see how we did. 70 overall. I'll take it. Nice one. So we increased our popularity in 17 regions. Not as many as last time. Maybe our popularity is starting to grow. We should probably check that out. But yeah, so 70 overall. Or that could be because we used the pay-per-view. It was different broadcasting. I don't know. Either way, 70 is fine. I will take that. MJF still world champion. House of Black still trios champions. Jamie Hayter still world champion. Orange Cassidy still international champion. Also, do you not think that's a bit weird? We've got world champion and international champion. What's the difference? Let's be honest. Like, it used to be called All Atlantic and now it's international. Yeah, I think that's a bit silly. Jade Cargill still champion, but she has the threat of Athena on the horizon, I assume. And then FTR, the only title change of the night, winning the World Tag Team titles for the however many time they've won it now. But yeah, let's wrap this up. And I guess we're going to head straight into Collision. This is a long old episode, so I hope you've got some popcorn and you're sitting back and enjoying. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, and here we are for Collision. There are no backstage incidents. We are back at the Duchess Stadium, so without wasting any time, let's get straight into AEW Collision. Okay, and starting with 3 pre-show matches for Collision tonight, we have Nyla Rose versus Taya Valkyrie, and in which Nyla wins in 8 minutes with a camel clutch 51 rating. Not bad. Nyla got some good numbers, Taya got some bad numbers. It's kind of expected, let's be honest. Moving on, we've got another one-on-one match. It's Ethan Page and Action Andretti. So for the next 2 pre-show matches, so this one and the next, I didn't select a winner. I just thought, let's see what happens. And Ethan Page wins with a spinning facebuster, 54 rating with 52 and 50. And Stokely Hathaway doing great work at ringside, which we love to see. And then the final one is a tag team match between the Lucha Brothers and Jarrett and Jay Lethal with a 67, which is quite good. This was a match that was close to being on the card, but ended up pushing it down. I do just kind of want to get the Lucha Brothers some screen time soon, but it's just kind of working out where they fit in and among storylines and things we've got going on. But great match. Ray Phoenix 79, Penta 71, and Jay and Jeff didn't do terribly either, so we'll take it. But moving straight into our opening for AEW Collision, of course it's MJF. Man comes out, belt still on his shoulder or round his waist, whatever he wants to do, and he's just laughing his head off. He mocks Darby Allin ruthlessly, talks about how Sting was meant to be his ace, the card, the thing that will help him, everything that he's been learning from his best friend, old man Sting, gets all the way to the top of the mountain, just to the peak where he's about to, put his flag down, and Sting just drags him all the way back to the foot of that mountain. With the overall message, basically, MJF just talking directly to Darby Allin, who's not there, but like down the camera, like, man, cut that old dude loose. If he wasn't there last night, interfering, distracting me, causing me to, count out, wink, wink, you might have won, Darby. Who knows? I mean, you wouldn't have, because I'm the best wrestler in the world, but you would have had a better chance without him. So yes, like MJF just, shit stirring, let's be honest. Stirring that pot, trying to get between Darby Allin and Sting, because he knows that they are a threat, and he can only keep up this facade for so long. But yeah, great start. Hot catchphrase again, whatever it is. Maybe it's stir the pot. No, it's not. Yeah, don't leave the hot catchphrase to me, because it'll be something silly. 99 rated, great way to start the show. And we head straight into a tag team match. We got an injury. Oh no. Between Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara versus the best friends of Chucky T and Trent Beretta. So a decent match. Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara defeated the best friends in 15 minutes, where Jake Hager submitted Chuck Taylor. During the match, Chris Jericho also got involved and attacked Chucky T. So it looks here that Trent Beretta sustained a whiplash neck strain, which severely affected his work. Well, not so much, because he wasn't far off Jake Hager, which is a bit embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, the moral of this story, though, is that the JAS got a win. Jake and Sammy got a win for good old Chris Jericho. I feel like he probably needed that after being kind of beaten down by Orange Cassidy, the third best friend. So yeah, Chris must be happy, even though he did get involved. And yeah, we've got a whiplash strain, which sucks. And Jake Hager, of course it was Jake, got a little bit of heat for the botch. Naughty Jake. But Chris Jericho doesn't matter. He runs into the ring, gives his boys a big hug, and he's like, yes, we're back to winning ways. JIS, all of that. Jake's obviously kind of happy, but he's also like, oh no, I've hurt Trent. And Sammy's just loving life because he likes the praise. 64 rated segment, not the best. Apparently, Chris Jericho didn't do well without a script. I call bullshit. Moving on, we've got Britt Baker in one-on-one action against Mercedes Martinez. Just in the simple one-on-one. Let's get Britt a win. And she does. 52, 50, 53 overall. Nice. Britt Baker and Rebel have excellent chemistry. I forget that Rebel's the manager. It's annoying that it says they've got excellent chemistry, because I kind of want to sack Rebel off, which I'm going to, because of this. Britt Baker and Rebel are on different sides of the face-heel divide, and that's obviously going to impact anything they do. So Rebel might have to do one very quietly. But straight after that match, she's jumped. All three members of the Outcasts just start attacking the life out of Britt Baker, and we're all expecting Jamie Hayter to come storming down the ring, when instead it's Hikaru Shida, who is a long-term friend, in the back with Britt Baker. They've got a lot of history together. She comes bombing down the ring with a kendo stick or something, clears the ring and helps Britt, and Britt's like, oh, I'm okay, thanks. Clearly this went on a little bit longer than it should have, because no one has star power. Not even Saraya. That's interesting. I would have thought that her star power would be a little bit higher. But yeah, excellent chemistry. Oh no, that's Rebel again. Boo. But it got the crowd hotter. That's all that matters. Well, it's not all that matters, but you know what I mean. So yeah, Hikaru Shida coming to the rescue of Britt, but where's Jamie? We head backstage where Renee has just got Dustin for a moment, just saying, Dustin, we saw you were confronted the Bullet Club Gold. What are your thoughts? You know, like, talk to me. And Dustin basically kind of repeated what he said to Jay. He was like, it's just about respect. He was like, they're both talented young men, you know, like Jay White, incredible in the ring, full of charisma. Like, that kid's going to go far, but he's not going to get as far as he could if he doesn't learn to respect people, especially the ones that have been doing it far longer than he's been alive, etc. You know, so Dustin's like, that's the lesson I want to teach. That's all I want to teach. Just a bit of respect. That's all they need. But unfortunately, they're the kind of people that you can't talk it into them. You might have to beat it into them. And Renee's like, oh, Dustin. So yeah, it seems like Dustin Rhodes has his eyes firmly set on Bullet Club Gold. And now we have the first match of the TNT tournament. Miro versus Daniel Garcia. And in a decent match that took 19 bloody minutes, Miro defeats Daniel Garcia. Miro's triumphant return, I don't think we've used him yet. Maybe in a pre-show. But Miro wins with a game over. So Miro gets a 65, Daniel Garcia gets a 60. And Daniel Garcia benefits from being the flavor of the month. Nice. That is another loss for the JAS. Not that we're counting every single one of them, but it's kind of fun too because they seem to lose quite a lot. Either way, Miro advances into the semi-finals, and his opponent, I believe, if I've done this correctly, will be decided tonight in the other quarterfinal. We now head backstage and we see Britt walking through, and she spots Jamie. She's like, Jamie, where were you earlier? Like, I was being beaten the rock out of. Like, what's going on? And Jamie was like, oh, sorry, Britt. Why am I trying to do an English accent? I'm already English. She was like, sorry, Britt. I was distracted by something. I'm really, like, I'll have you back next time. I promise. Like, but you know, Hikaru was there. Like, thank God that Shida came and helped you out. And Britt's kind of just like, but you're meant to be my girl. And it's like, look, I'm sorry. Like, I promise next time, if there is one, I've got your back. I promise. I'm sorry. And they're like, okay, sure, whatever. So there's a little bit of tension growing between Britt and Jamie. Interesting. Let's see where that goes. But we do head to the ring for the next TNT tournament match, and it's Konosuke Takeshita versus Juice Robinson. So in a decent match, Konosuke Takeshita defeats Juice Robinson in 15 minutes by pinfall with his javelin kick. And during the match, Dustin Rhodes ran in to attack Juice. Oh, that's definitely going to ruffle some feathers in Bullet Club Gold, costing Juice potential title opportunity. But yeah, so Takeshita, yep, he makes it through, and I believe, if my memory is correct, that means it will be Takeshita versus Miro, but it might not be, so don't hold me to that. But nevertheless, he advances to the semi-finals. This match got the crowd buzzing, which is great, with a 63. That is our final match of the night, but Sting has requested some time to talk, and we're going to see what that's about right now. So Sting comes out seething, fuming. At first he apologizes to Darby. He's like, I didn't mean for it to get like that. He was cheating. Let's just say MJF put his bloody ring on or something, was going to use the title. Sting got involved. He got carried away. He was like, MJF just pushes my buttons. Like, I'm just sick of him. Like, we're both sick of his antics. Like, we've had enough. MJF comes out, just kind of like mocking them even further, and just being like, Darby, you don't need him. Drop him. And Sting's like, you stay out of this. And then he's like, no, wait, actually, you're the problem. You're the reason why there's this growing rift between Darby and I. Darby and I are like best friends. Well, they are best friends, as I think Darby said that numerous times. So Sting's like, you know what? Someone needs to put you in their place, and that person is going to be me. And MJF's like, what? are you challenging me, Sting? And Sting's like, you know what? I am. Me and you, one-on-one, soon. It's going to happen, and I'm going to shut you up once and for all. And MJF is like, bring it. So that seems to be something that is going to be happening on the horizon. MJF facing Sting. Whether it's for the title or not, we don't know yet. I doubt it, because I assume Sting would need to earn a title shot, but you never know how big MJF's ego is. So that'll be interesting. Sting returning to in-ring action in a one-on-one with Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And that ends our show on an 89. Lovely. And our final score for this is a 75. Not bad. Not bad at all. So we've got some semi-finalists for our TNT title tournament. Seems to be a small rift potentially growing between Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And the JAS just kind of bouncing along, winning, then losing, then winning, then losing. Jericho's I think he's kind of losing patience slowly with certain members of the JAS, but we'll have to continue watching to find out what happens between them. But yeah, that's it for this one. It was a lengthy one. I apologize. Couldn't really think of a better way to break it up, because I don't want to split the Dynamite Collision episodes. So if there is an event in between, I think we're just going to have bulkier episodes. But that is it for today. Thank you very much, guys. A lot has happened. There's a lot to digest. But we will continue next week with our week 4, the final week in April. And what I like to do at the end of each month is take a look at our roster, take a look at our titles, take a look at our company size, just to see if there's any growth, any changes. And yeah, just see who's doing well, who's doing not. And then those are things that we can take into consideration for further storylines, etc. But yeah, that's it from me. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go make a cup of tea. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Yeah.